When it comes to Summer House, I think everyone is behaving a little badly. Before we get into it, I do want to say that so much of Summer House, like if you watch the entire show from the beginning, so much of it is built on these incredibly regressive, like hetero dating policies that like are a little bit amorphous, aren't really real. So much of it is made up, but like at its core, Summer House is a deeply regressive and conservative show when it comes to like gender politics and especially the ways that like women should behave. Before we get into Lexi, Jesse, Ciara, I do just want to say one thing about Imrul. I agree that the fandom is coming at him very, very hard for something that he isn't necessarily like in charge of, right? Like, I do think that the way that people are talking about him is like a little bit fucked up, right? Like, the use of like this coded language of him being like dirty or unclean, especially from Paige. And like, I know that Paige is the queen of Summer House and everyone is like, I love Paige, I love Paige. She sometimes is the arbiter of these like very regressive moral codes, right? Like saying that Lindsay making out with two guys in one day is brothel behavior, calling Lindsay inappropriate names after Lindsay had a miscarriage and like hooked up with someone else, right? Like saying what she said to Imrul, saying that he should get an STD test. Like all of these things are coming from one source, and I just ask you to look at where it's coming from. That being said, as someone in the gay community, I do think that Imrul is doing one thing that I just raise my eyebrow at. I'm not saying it's good and I'm not saying it's bad, right? Like, I am not a moral arbiter. I'm not saying that he should be like arrested and thrown in The Hague. I'm just saying when someone seeks external validation in the way that he does, again, in the gay community, we see this a lot, right? People who are just like out there and just like fucking nonstop. And it's like, what's going on? And I will say, maybe it is because American culture is a little bit rigid when it comes to sexuality. So, like, you guys can stone me if you want. But, like, I do think that he's working through something. And in response to anyone questioning his incessant need to, like, hook up with all of these girls, being I was an undocumented immigrant, like, I think that he is working through some stuff with regards to, like, visibility and desirability. And I know that we can have a very, very long conversation about that. But all I will say is that I think that if you are seeking validation through this, like, very extreme behavior, right? Because as soon as he gets on the scene, he's like, I was at a play party. And he's like talking about all this stuff that has never been introduced to the Summer House before. He may or may not be working through some other things that might be the question. And again, because I know that this app is very, very hard of hearing, I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that perhaps he is working through some like self-love issues, some validation issues, some like I need to be reminded that I exist and that I'm a human being by using other people or like hooking up with other people as a reminder, and like take whatever you can from it. But I obviously, as a gay man, have seen this behavior millions of times. So I'm like calling it like I see it. When it comes to these three, I do think that there is bad behavior going on all sides, right? And we can just run down the line. From Ciara, I do think that she's setting herself up with this fandom. I wasn't a Ciara fan and now I am. Don't come for me. I like her now. But I will say that it is hard for people to ride for her when specifically she flipped out at Danielle and Lindsay for like breaking girl code when Austin told her he didn't want her and she was like, he's still mine, right? Lexi and Jesse have made it official. They're officially dating. So her continuing to like play up this flirty angle on social media now. Obviously, if they're together or if they're together, we don't know. So like it is just like antagonizing this situation a little bit, which I'm surprised by because I thought that she was like very good at keeping the fandom away from coming for her after a couple of embarrassing seasons. Jesse's the one who's 100% wrong here because he's the one that's in a relationship with Lexi and also love bombing her while sort of flirting with Ciara and then turning Ciara and Lexi on each other by saying, oh, Lexi's the one who's controlling me, right? There's nothing that he's doing right. Every single step of this, he's doing wrong. He's playing it wrong. If you wanted to be single, just be single. There's no need to like enter a relationship with Lexi and then act like you're single and then make Lexi feel crazy, right? Like you could just also not date her, right? I feel like what he's doing wrong is dating her while also like stringing her along, while also love bombing her, while also still doing whatever he wants, right? Like he openly cheated on her with the toe sucking situation. And it's like, you can't have it every single way, right? Like you're either single or you're not. And like, I like Lexi. I have nothing against her. I think the only thing she's doing wrong is sort of manipulating the public perception to like turn on Ciara, right? By like continuing to make comments to the press. She's on podcasts, she's in interviews being like, well, they knew that we were together and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, your issue isn't with Ciara, your issue's with Jesse, but you know how the fandom is. So now everyone hates Ciara. Like on TikTok and on Reddit, I've seen a lot of comments coming for her. There was a Reddit post a couple of days ago that was like basically just trashing her. The second thing I will say, because you know I can't ever make a video without an unpopular opinion, so you guys can get mad at me, I think that Lexi saying I don't understand why Jessie is making me out to look crazy and insecure, or like a jealous, insecure girl, is a little bit of a reach, only because in the very first episode, she's like, I am very jealous and very insecure. And then in every single episode that we've seen her be jealous and insecure. And that's not a diagnosis. I'm not coming for her. I'm not saying she should be arrested for being insecure, but like her asking where this perception is coming from, why people think that she's jealous and insecure, when it's like, you were counting how many girls he was following. You made him unfollow girls. You're policing his behavior. Like, it is so much easier to break up with a loser than to like do this and then blame him for making you look jealous and insecure when you led with your insecurity. And again, that's not a diagnosis. I'm not coming at her for being insecure. I'm just saying she's told us and shown us in many, 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 many ways that she is deeply insecure. And like, yes, she's 25 or 26. Like, it is fine to be insecure at that age. But then also don't say, why do people think I'm insecure, when that's mostly what you've shown us. That being said, Jessie's still a love bomber and Jessie still sucks. I'm very happy that Jessie's now having this moment in the sun, because I knew it was coming.